SK Vibemaker.
The guy sitting next to me hardly needs an introduction, man. Who's in the building?
The familiar stranger, Big Fris, aka Frisco. Wagwan.
How do you introduce yourself these days, considering that, you know, everyone knows you? I mean, like, you might feel like it's a bit rude, but you have to introduce yourself. But, like, how do you introduce yourself these days, man?
I don't know. I just say whatever's going on at the time, innit? My album's out now, so I'm the familiar stranger, you get me? Before that, I was the system killer. You get what I'm saying? That. Yeah, so it's whatever I'm pushing at the time. But yeah, Frisco, Big Fris, you know the thing.
So I'm not back with a vengeance, I'm back and relentless.
Yes, man.
When you say a line like that, what do you mean exactly? Break it down for them.
Okay, we spoke off a camera not too long ago about basically what I was saying is before every time I dropped a project, it was like a 2-year gap. Do you get what I'm saying? So now, as I was saying to you before, I got so much music and so much stuff. I'm just back and relentless with the music. Like I've never been the artist that just slaps you with bare music and project after project after project. Even though I've had like mixtapes and albums and stuff. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm just back and relentless with it. Like it's a new hunger. Do you get what I'm saying?
Stacking, you got a lot of stuff stacked up and that, yeah?
Listen, man, you're gonna see anyway, man. You're gonna see. I'm just gonna let the music do the talking, but there's loads of stuff about to pop up.
So, you know, sometimes there's people listening internationally. We do take for granted that everybody knows who you are and everybody knows certain artists that have got status, but they might not know some of the details. So when it comes to giving a brief into the musical journey so far, how do you know, explain that, what you've done so far, man? Maybe over 10 years in the game in this UK music culture.
That sounds like an obvious question, but it's a good question because to try and sum it all up in one answer is a bit mad still, but
I mean, if you was to bullet point it, like, and you gave a few of the bullet points, key parts of your journey so far, what would you say?
Key parts, so I'd say artist, MC, producer, musician, and father. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's an important part as well, man.
Very important.
Trust me, because I feel like when it comes to the father part as well, maybe that affects their approach. And people don't understand this until they become a parent when they're making music. There's a different kind of psyche that you tap into and a different kind of approach to the way that you make your music. Maybe 100%. A maturity or maybe an understanding that youngers in your family are going to hear the music.
Yeah, and the thing is with me, as I had my first son young. I was in my teens when I had my first son. So I came into music having a son, having a child. You get what I'm saying? So like you said, my outlook and my approach was always a little bit different. I always had a different type of swag about me. You get me? Not necessarily clothes wise, but there was just an aura about how I used to approach music and how I just am in everyday life. You get what I mean?
Without even being a musician as well, man, the different dynamic of having, whether you have a boy or a girl. In your case, you had your son first. Big son now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's looking at you. So what you're doing, you're kind of co-signing and making him think that certain things are cool. But at the same time, you have to be a musician and you can't always do your whole thing with PG.
Yeah.
So how have you managed to, you know, deal with that dynamic of being yourself, being uncensored, but at the same time thinking of your son that's listening to your music?
Well, do you know what? Around those times, I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I was young, so I was totally uncensored. I wasn't thinking about, and at that time, my son would have been a baby, so he wouldn't have been, maybe now you can go back and look, but now you're at an age where you can understand that I was even young when I had you. Him going back listening to that now, he would think, all right, how old was my dad at that time? Okay, I was a baby. All right, okay, so he was young, and him when he gets to an age, he can understand that okay, he was just young and whatever not. But yeah, like I said, at that time I was totally uncensored, brother. I used to just say what I was saying. You can listen to the music; it's evident, it's there. The proof's in the music. So I was just raw with it. You get what I'm saying? If I be honest, the only difference it made to my music was the hunger. I had a different hunger. Like, I always had like a different. Like it was a hobby, but then it was when it became a business. And I started seeing stuff was selling and people were making money out of it. The hunger just started getting a bit. Was always a bit like my outlook was. I never wanted to be bumped. You can't bump me. I'm always gonna get paid for for my work. I know what I'm worth. Do you get what I'm saying? And I always had that mindset.
I kind of recall not many clashes or beefs over the years involving Frisco. There's a couple that I can mention. I know one in particular back in the day, people might remember the back and forth with you and Wiley. But how do you respond to sends and clashing? Are you down for that? Because it just seems like not many people have sent for you.
Do you know what it is? There's been times where I just want to come out and diss someone. You get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. There's been times where, especially when the sends are going on, that's what I'm about, innit? That's where I come from, bro. That's the field that I came up in. That's what made me started writing lyrics in the first place. So I'm always gonna be a fan of it. Do you get what I mean? But I can't do it when it's fake. When I mean fake, it doesn't have to be real beef, as in where
road stuff. It don't need to be road stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It just needs to come from some kind of creative distance.
It has to come from something. Like someone can't just pick me out of nowhere because they got something selling and they think, oh, you know what? No one sent for Frisco. Let me send for Frisco. Like if you've actually got a problem with me and you feel like that's how you want to address it, then make sure that that is. Do you get what I'm saying? Make sure that is something worth me going at you, responding to. Do you get what I'm saying?
Are you cool with keeping it like on tracks though, and it not spilling outside of that? Is that easy for you?
It's not easy. I'd lie. That'd be a lie if I said it was easy. But yeah, that's what I'm about. I'm about the sport at the end of the day. But do you know what it is? Sometimes this is another reason why I don't engage in certain things, because I'm not built to just take certain chat. Like, it's mad. And man, of the disrespect levels now are different.
Yeah. For real.
The disrespect levels now are different, bruv. Like, so yeah, I'm mindful of that. Do you get what I'm saying? But like I said, if it was called for, then yeah, definitely, because I'm one of those guys, innit? So you're not just gonna you know the thing already anyway, man. You know what I'm saying, innit?
Speaking of the fakeness, Thuggish and Ruggish is what we're talking about. The intro off the album, one of my favorites. There's another line where you say it come like real, I discontinued. Discontinued?
Yeah.
It come like real, I discontinued. Now that's a big line to say. That's a strong line to say. Do you feel like there's a lot of fakeness and unauthentic people in this music industry? Or more fakeness and unauthentic than there is the reals?
Just in life. In every
field and quarter.
In every field, there's gonna be fake and nonsense.
What about your take on your steps in the music?
So in the music, there's no different. But what's my take? As in what?
I mean, so do you feel like that's amplified when it comes to the music industry, or just the same?
Yeah, it's amplified. It definitely is amplified. There's so many different versions of fake. So for me to sum it all up, it's a bit. You get what I mean? There's so many different levels, but how I try and navigate through is, I've been in it I've been doing this for long enough time now to know who's a and who's not a. You get what I mean? So that's all I try and do, is stay far from the. You get what I'm saying, and keep it real with the real ones, and that's it really. Do you know what I mean? Like I try not to give that too much energy, because we know it's there. And we know it happens. And do we like it? Of course we don't like it. There's so many things I can say about people in the industry and things that have happened, but I'm not thinking about that no more. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, yeah, there's bare fake stuff that happens in it. But who am I to, like, I'm not here to get onto no one or say anything or say this person's fake or that person's fake. Do you get what I'm saying? There's a load of fakes. 90% of people in the industry are saying stuff that don't really go like that. But then who am I to say don't say this and don't say that? Do you get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it is an art form. It is your take on life. It is the way you see it. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's two sides. Do you get what I'm saying? There is two sides. Because to me, I think if we're talking about the creative part and rapping and MCing and stuff like that, that's always going to be a narrative. This person's fake, that person's fake. If we're talking on that level of being fake, this person's fake, that person's fake. But to me, everything that we're going to say or we've said has been said already. The art of this is the way you're saying, the way you're getting your point across. Do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes you're going to exaggerate it. Sometimes you're going to, do you know what I mean? Bend things, twist things. But the general sense of things should be you not coming out of yourself too much. So if you're just coming on the mic and or on your songs and just chatting stuff that are outlandishly fake and false, then yeah, that's fake. I'm not really with that. Do you get
We're
what I'm
not
saying?
down for that.
But obviously, do you get what I'm saying? There's some things that you're gonna exaggerate. I'm not talking badness. I'm not talking this or that. I'm just saying there's some things you're gonna exaggerate. Do you get what I'm saying? Man said they want beef. I'll bring them the whole cow. It's not factual, but you're exaggerating to get your point across.
And there's the art of wordplay.
It's the art of wordplay. So let's not forget that part of it. Do you get what I mean? That's what I'm saying, really.
So when we're talking about colours, you spoke about having the whole Air Maxes all in different colours and all that kind of stuff.
You know how I get down with the Air
I know
Maxes,
you get
man.
down with the crep still, man. Where do you store all of that stuff, man? Is it just like a mess in the yard and that?
Some I got like a couple boxes here. I got like a room in my yard. Big. I got them all over. I got boxes in my mum's yard.
Saying you got a room as a wardrobe, a spare room as a wardrobe. That's what you're saying.
Where, in my yard?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a wardrobe, but it's like a room. You get what I'm saying?
We just have to say, for the record, that weren't a COVID cough neither, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's a weed.
Yeah, some of the sticky ickies going down in the building. You know what I'm saying? They've just cleared the vaccine as well. They're saying that everyone's going to be, privy to getting the vaccine in the UK and that. Are you going to be at the front of the line trying to get that COVID vaccine so you can be walking around free spirit and that?
Nah. I'm good, I'm good still.
Why you say that? Why not?
I'm good, man.
Nah? Are you not getting it at all?
Well, no, I don't plan to, no.
Oh, scene. Do you know my take on it is? Listen, I'm good if I can get to about 90 years old. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to my granddad, just turned 88. So we're not going to live forever.
Are you here for the vaccine?
I'll get the vaccine eventually. I'm not going to be at the front of the queue for it. But I'll let the guinea pigs get out of the way and all of that. And shout outs to you because you're helping humanity. But I'll wait a little while. But I will get it.
So are you saying you'll get it when they make it compulsory?
I'm not even saying I'll get it when they make it compulsory. I'll get it when I feel calm in myself. And I know that as long as I'm not going to be having mad headaches and having mad mental issues afterwards, I'll research it when the time's right.
Effects that some of,
but there's effects to many medicines out there.
Very true.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying anything for or against. I'm just saying, have you?
And I will do my research. Like anything that I'm going to take seriously in my life, I'll do my research.
That's all I suggest.
Yeah.
Anyone that is thinking about that, just research, man, and research properly. Don't just type it in Google and really research. So
we're happy that we got the second album, The Familiar Stranger. This just came after your last project, Back to the Lab Volume 5, which you said is the last in the Back to the Lab series.
Yeah.
So are we definitely not getting a Back to the Lab Volume 6? And is it just albums from here on in?
No. I don't think we're going to get another Back to the Lab, though. No, we're not going to get another Back to the Lab. That chapter's kind of close still. There's other stuff that I'm not going to say it's just going to be all albums. You might get an EP here and there, you get what I'm saying? But it's going to be predominantly albums. I've got enough music for it. I've got enough sauce. I've got enough bars. You know what I mean?
Say nothing.
I've never run out. Big up Chip.
Really? So Colours with DEE and Gets. A lovely collaboration. You'd like to see all three of you on the track. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, what you're addressing, a lot of wordplay around colours. This has been a cultural revolution this year, 2020 going into 2021. It should be like that all the time, but we seem to have had a lot of that this year. What's been your take on the cultural revolution which has happened over the last 9 months worldwide?
It's for me, it's a double-edged sword because it's like it's sad that this is still going on and people are still losing their lives, and it seems to even have got worse. And then on the other side, it's woke people up, even myself more. Do you get what I'm saying? It's woke people up. We all knew that this was happening, but it's at a point where like, nah, enough is enough now. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Even the youngers like, like, nah, this is mad.
Did you protest much? Did you get out there with the placards? Did you stop the
Yeah,
roads?
I did.
And
I went maybe twice, I think. I went twice still.
You feel like it made
I didn't
a
have
difference?
I didn't have any plaques, but I was out there still. Yeah.
Did you feel like the protesting and that, you know, outside Downing Street and around Parliament and all those places in central London made a difference?
Not really, but it's like they've got an answer to it, kind of thing. You can't just ignore it. Do you get what I mean? So, and if we just have that attitude, then it will just happen, and we'll just have to take it, innit? Like, what else are you gonna do if that's the only thing that people can do to vent their frustration? Then, you know what I mean?
So sleepless nights, so many sleepless nights. I mean, what's the reason why sleepless nights? Is it because you're tortured by your creative side?
Life.
Yeah, a lot of nocturnal business going on, late nights and that.
Yeah, a lot of late nights and early mornings.
How do you deal with that, man? That could really take a toll on your health, your mental health, how you feeling in the day and that.
I don't even know, bro. I don't know how I was getting through certain of these days and nights.
You saying that's been rectified now?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a time where I wasn't sleeping as good as I should have been. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'd sleep in the daytime, but then in the nighttime I weren't sleeping, so it was mad. It was like, obviously, a lot of things that just in life, bro. Like, people only see and hear the bars and see the videos. You could be going through a madness and because you're not putting it out there, because everyone's just used to you putting everything out there. You're filming yourself all day, every day. They just think everything's cool. Do you get what I'm saying? So someone could be going through a madness and you don't even know. They're just good at masking it up. You get what I mean?
Fronting. And the music's the therapy a lot of the time.
And the music is the therapy. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, for me, those times, I think the savior for me was around that time. I just got my studio. Do you get what I'm saying? So I could use those when I'm up. I'm not just up. I could just be in the studio up, and that's how I've done a lot of Back to the Lab 5. I've done a lot of that mixtape, just being here up and people being, because the first year that I was here, I used to have people here all the time. Do you get what I'm saying? And then like I kind of slowed down, and then I just kind of focused, and then my sleep pattern started getting a bit more normal. Do you get what I mean? But sleepless nights is a real thing, man, because when I wrote those, when I actually made that song, like when I wrote the bars to that song, there was bare stuff going on. Like, and it was at a time when, even, you know, like when you have certain realizations with yourself, it's like you have an epiphany, like, oh, this is what I know what I need to be doing now. Do you get what I'm saying? All right, cool. Sometimes it just takes something in the day just to happen, and it just clicks in your head, like, oh. So it was around that I was having a moment when I wrote that tune.
Straight up. Now, you've definitely grown over the years, man. You've been deep in this game. You've been an artist that a lot of people have looked up to, been inspired by. Maybe many artists have been inspired in secret by, because sometimes they don't even want to give you your flowers while you're here and healthy. Do you know what I'm saying? How much would you say Frisco has grown since the release of Back to the Lab Volume 1 back in like the mid-noughties? I feel like it came out 06 times. How would you explain the growth?
Man said the mid-noughties, you know.
You get me?
Yeah, that came out in 06 still.
How would you explain the growth since then, man? Do you feel like you've grown a lot?
In every sense of the word. In saying some of the songs I listened to then, I can't even listen to now. Do you get what I'm saying? I think I'm like a 10 times better artist. I understand the music way more now. I'm more of a perfectionist. Like like I know exactly how I want it to sound now. Then I was just experimenting. So I was just still learning at that time. Even now I'm still learning, but I've got a very much more solid outlook and how I want how I want myself to sound and be presented. I know everything. How, not saying I don't want to sound like I just know everything, but I'm saying when it comes to me and my sound and how I want to, like, if just say for instance I'm vocaling and the producer, I know the engineer, I know exactly how I want myself to sound when I'm vocaling. So I'll say yeah, book back. So now I'm just more of a sure. Like I'm just more sure. I just know. Obviously that's what growth is, isn't it? Like then I was experimenting. Then I thought I knew everything then because I just thought I was good. But now I'm way better than that now. Obviously in life I've grown as well. I've experienced more. I've got more things to talk about. My subject matter's better. Like I've got more interest. I've got a more interesting take on life. I know how to say things a bit better. My metaphors have got better. So it's all a chain reaction. Do you get what I'm saying? Just growing in life should grow you as an artist. It should make you better. It should evolve you. And I think I've done that very well.
SK Vibemaker.